Hello, once again, this is Antonio, and I'm coming at you with another exciting video. Now, I want to talk about it. Lately, I've been doing a plethora of Judge Kane's videos, and some of his court cases are they tough. Multiple assaults, murder cases, um, rapes, babies being hurt. What is going on in Detroit? And I'm not saying other places are so much better, but in this case, this is a gentleman who's on trial for some very, very serious allegations. You're going to hear some tough testimony, video. A lot of stuff is going to happen in this case where you're going to be like, are we living in the Wild Wild West? Because and people say, oh, defund the police. What defund the police in your neighborhood? Don't defund them in mine. Now, do I think we should get rid of corrupt cops? Absolutely. But don't defund them in my neighborhood, defund them in yours. Nevertheless, this is Antonio with Team Tiggio. Like I said, this is a very, very long trial. This is over 2 hours. I've been hitting y'all with some 2 hour trials like early in the morning. So if you haven't seen those other cases that I've been dropping, make sure that you tune in because we're dropping heat. You can support this channel through Cash App or Super Chat. And once again, let's dive into the video. Boop, boop.
Calvin Cortez Craig.
Just stand right there, attorney.
Calling 2457743. People of the state of Michigan versus Calvin Cortez Craig. Defendant is charged in count 1 homicide, murder, first degree premeditated. Count 2 weapons, firearms, possession by felon. Count 3 carrying a concealed weapon. Count 4 and 5 felony firearms. Appearances for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sarah Vanel on behalf of the people, P84189.
Good morning, Your Honor. Christina Constantino, P79668, appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Calvin Craig, who's present and standing to my right.
Tell us your name for the record.
Calvin Cortez Craig.
This date and time set for preliminary examination.
Your Honor, the people are ready to proceed in part. I'd be asking for a detainer for one of my witnesses. She did not appear last time. She is not appeared today. I've been in contact with her. She stated she is coming. I've called her multiple times. She's not answering. The officer in charge has been trying to contact her. I know she's back in Michigan, but she has failed to appear today.
Was this witness subpoenaed?
We can't even give a subpoena to her because the location that she was staying at was with the defendant. And there's been issues with what's been going on at that house to drive them out of that home. So she doesn't have any permanent homing at this time. We're not able to locate her. I tried to get her into like a hotel or any kind of housing. She's not answering her phone now. There's concern. She's scared. She's scared. She's already put out of her own house. So this is unfortunately where we're at. Where I'm gonna have to ask for a detainer for her.
Your Honor, this is the same witness that failed to appear last week and was not present last week either. At this time, I'd ask that for this matter to go forward. My client's been in custody this entire time. My understanding is not in any contact.
Want to go forward. The issue is whether it's going to go forward in part.
And Judge.
And at the start of our discussion, you indicated that there was a witness that you wanted to call as well that's not here.
Understood, Judge. Depending upon how the testimony comes out, there may be an additional witness that the defense seeks to have testified, and he's available to testify via Zoom, but not in person. And so with regards to that witness, I'd be asking for an exception for him to testify via Zoom, much like the OIC, former OIC would be via Zoom.
If I may, Your Honor, I'll have jail calls that come out today for the defendant speaking to the other witness in this case about sharing discovery around to other people, putting her name out there, going over the house that they stay in together, taking out the heat, the hot water tank, the electricity. So the defendant doesn't get to bully these women and scare them. She even told me she was scared. She told the officer in charge she was scared. It's on video when she's speaking to the police. She's terrified, looking all around. So yes, we're having issues finding her. Last time, she was in Chicago and
Let
she
me
was
ask you
with
this,
them.
this witness that's not here, did she give a statement?
Yes,
And the testimony you seek to get from her is consistent with the statement?
yes, Your Honor.
All right, so know that you have at your disposal, if you can show that the defendant is responsible for that witness not being here, you can admit that statement and do it for testimony.
Right, and the issue that, because I thought about that, because it's, not hearsay if he caused this, but he's not speaking to this witness directly on the jail calls with those threats
Well,
about.
it doesn't have to be directly communicated, it can be through a third party too, as long as you should establish that he's responsible for her not being.
Then, Your Honor, I guess that would be the argument, that if I can't get a detainer for her and do this at Held part, then I would ask for her statement to come in. She's got a video statement as well. I would ask for that to come in. She's got a written statement and a video statement.
And Judge, for the record, I would object to that. I don't believe the jail calls will amount to my client intimidating or threatening this particular witness to not come to court and not testify. I don't believe that people will be able to meet that burden, first of all. Second of all, this witness.
First of all, it doesn't have to be threat or intimidation. It just has to be him being responsible for her not being. And
Judge, if we recall, last week, this witness was not present in court because she was in Chicago with a group of, I'll call them, I guess, associates. And so that was the reason last week. So she's clearly moving around, going on with her I call it day-to-day life, just fine. And she's not returning phone calls or anything to that effect either. So I don't believe that the evidence will rise to even any level of that.
I don't know, because I don't know anything about this case, what she said, or what the circumstances are surrounding what he did to effectuate her not being here, if he did anything at all. I don't know, that remains to be said. But if people are able to establish that, then I may be inclined to take whatever statements that she gave to law enforcement authorities and do it for live testimony. I don't think that's something that you would want, because you can't cross-examine that. But the law is the law.
Of course, Judge, and if that's the way that the court sees things as it stands right now, then I would ask for it to be held in part. I would agree to that then, if that's the alternative.
Okay.
But I just want the record to be noted that it's now been twice that this witness has failed to appear.
Yes. Any other preliminary matters before you call it?
3, Your Honor, I'd ask for a mutual sequestration order for exception to the officer in charge, Eric Blackwell, will testify last.
No objection to that, Judge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the courtroom, if there are any witnesses that may testify in this matter today or in a future hearing, I ask that you step into the hallway with further notice. Ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land, if you are a witness or potential witness, I'm ordering you to log off. I do have a Brandon Jordan that is here. Is this going to be your first witness, Mr. Norman?
No, Your Honor, he'll be my third if he can be placed in the waiting room, and then I'll bring him.
Mr. Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm going to place you in the waiting room until we're ready for you, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Any other preliminary matters?
Just 2 more, Your Honor. People moved to omit People's Exhibit 1, which is the postmortem report under MCL 76611, B as in boy, D as in Delta. And Your Honor, I would move to publish, move to amend and publish.
No objection, Judge.
Admit it? Yes, please.
Your Honor, the pertinent portions of this report read as follows. It is entitled "The Postmortem Report from the Office of the Wayne County Medical Examiner certifies that Dr. Lee Labadie, Assistant Medical Examiner, performed a postmortem examination on the body of Devontae Bridges at the Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office on July 25th of 2022 with an ending case number of 22-10644. In the summary and opinion portion of this document, it states, it is my opinion that death was caused by 4 gunshot wounds An entrance gunshot wound on the right cheek, right jaw, right chin, and mid chin. The manner of death is homicide. And then one more matter, and then I'm done. People would move to admit People's Exhibit 2 of the certified judgment of sentence under MCL 76611B as in boy. This is for the defendant's prior conviction of armed robbery that took place on December 13th, 2001, and the requirements for regaining eligibility have not been restored. I've also showed defense counsel this prior.
No objection, Judge.
With that, Your Honor, I think defense counsel has one.
I do, Judge. Are you able to? I'm wondering if, and I apologize, Judge, is it at all possible for my client to have his handcuffs just loosened slightly so that he could write notes to me if that exists? He's indicated to me he has an issue with writing correctly.
What's the problem?
It's tight. It's tight.
How is that preventing you from writing?
Just cutting it to my arm, sir.
Violate security to security. I let them make that judgment as to whether or not the handcuffs can be used. We have a deal in here. I'll let them do my job. They let me do my job and I'll let them do theirs.
Sounds like a great deal to me, Judge. Makes perfect sense. I do have one other just kind of housekeeping issue, Your Honor. There will be some videos that I intend to play. I'm in your Zoom waiting room. Is that how the court wishes for me to play them, or is there a different manner you'd like me to play them?
I bring you in and I make you a co-host.
Okay.
We'll be able to share the screen.
Sounds good.
Your Honor, this time people call Officer Michael Silberg.
Okay. Officer Michael Silberg. Sir, please give your name and spelling to the court reporter.
Yes, sir. Michael, M-I-C-H-A-L, last name Silberg, S-O-L, B-O-Y-E-R-G.
Please raise your right hand.
Yes, sir.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. The witness box next to you.
Yes, sir. Average microphone.
Good luck. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please restate your name again for the record?
Michael Silberg,
And where are you currently employed at?
Internal Affairs for the Wayne County Sheriff's Department.
For how long?
I've been with the Sheriff's Department for almost 18 years and then Internal Affairs since August 1st, 2019.
And what are your duties currently in that position?
Took live monitoring, so if I was sitting in my office right now.
I'm sorry.
Live monitoring. So if I was sitting in my office right now, listening to jail calls going on in real time.
So when an inmate places a call, is that associated with a particular account?
Yes,
Are these calls recorded?
yes, ma'am.
And does the inmate receive a prompt saying that these calls are recorded?
Both parties do.
Okay. Do you serve as the custodian for this call system?
Yes, ma'am.
And did the prosecutors request jail calls for
Yes, ma'am.
this defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you receive that request, what's your next step? What do you do?
Log into the Telmate system that we use for the jail calls. Put the request information in the system. It generates a download link that gets sent to the prosecutor's office. They click on the download link. Want to repeat it?
I just need to slow down.
Okay, no problem. The prosecutors click on that download link. They can put the zip file on their computer. So they can extract the calls from that zip file and listen to them at their own leisure.
Your Honor, may I approach? showing you people's proposed exhibit 14.
Yes, ma'am.
What are these?
Jail calls.
Okay, when you say the jail calls, are these the jail calls that you sent to the prosecutor's office?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the defendant's name?
Correct.
Okay. Your Honor, I move to omit.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Admitted?
Now, when these jail calls are all separately titled, the jail calls, on the title, of each one being titled, what do we see there? What's the name of it?
The inmate's last name, followed by the destination number that was dialed, so the telephone number, and then the date and time would be military time.
Okay, so do we have the defendant's name on there?
Yes, it's his last name.
We have the phone number that's contacting, where the call is being made from, or two?
Two, correct.
Two, and then we have the date and the time.
Yes, ma'am. The time would be military time.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross-examine?
Good afternoon, good morning, I think.
Good morning.
Did you do any sort of report in the course of your investigation in this case?
No,
Did you listen to any of the jail calls?
no,
So your sole job was to pull the jail calls and provide them to the prosecution?
correct.
And you don't have any other knowledge about this case, correct?
No.
Nothing further, Judge.
Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may say. Thanks, sir. Every day.
Your Honor, at this time, people call Sergeant Stephen Ford.
Yeah.
Here.
Please give your name and spelling to the court reporter. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat in this box. Begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please restate your name again for the record?
Sergeant Stephen Ford,
And where are you currently employed at?
City of Detroit Police Department, homicide.
And did you become involved in the investigation of Devontae Bridges?
Yes,
Part of that investigation, did you extract mainline video?
green light video?
Did you extract any kind of video?
Yes,
Okay. Was this on July 24th of 2022?
yes,
Okay, where was this at? Where did you extract it from?
right.
Like a home or anything like that? Or is
Gas
it-
station.
Okay, is that at 20630 West 7 Mile?
Yes,
Okay. And I'm sorry, what is at that location?
gas station.
There, may I approach?
You may.
No, there's no- Any people propose exhibits 3, 4, and 5, their videos. Are you able to see those or do you want me to click on them and make them bigger for you? You can see them?
Yeah.
Okay. What are these videos of?
Clips of the video extracted from different location.
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to review these videos at some point?
Yes,
Okay. And do those fairly and accurately depict the videos that you extracted?
Slow down, slow down.
Oh, yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
Do these videos fairly and accurately depict the videos that you extracted from that gas station?
yes,
Your Honor, I would move to omit People's Exhibit 3, 4, and 5.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Admitted?
And Your Honor, may I share my screen?
Yes.
Might be hard, but I can approach with my laptop. Can you read the date and time at the top right corner? Okay, kind of may I approach? You don't see that in
Oh, this is. I can't see it.
Can I approach and show you around then? If you can see it, I'm here, I'm not sure. Yes, there. Can I show you around that? I mean, you can see it on the video, I can. Sorry. Your Honor, I'm just seeing if I can get a stipulation. Okay, Your Honor, we have a stipulation for the date, which is July 22nd, 2022, and then the time is military time, it's at 13:47.
So stipulated for exam purposes only?
Yes, Judge, thank
Or
you,
receive
yes.
that stipulation?
Thank you, Your Honor. On this video, did you have to convert the time?
I did not.
Okay. When I say convert the time, what is that?
So when I made this location, this is a geovision system, so it's computer-based. Geovision system, which is computer-based, and it was on time.
Okay. And what street are we looking at here?
I'm not sure. It's not federal.
Okay. Now I'm gonna play the video starting at 1:19:41. And I'm gonna play it for about less than a minute. Let's start at 1:19:40. Stopping the video at 1:20. Publishing People's Exhibit 4. Starting this video at 1:08. Playing this for about 40 seconds and I'll stop and I'll draw the court's attention to the vehicle that just pulls in. I'm gonna stop at 1:43. I'm just gonna move it forward to 3:47. Actually, I'll do 3:43 and I'm playing the video again for about 30 seconds. Stopping the video at 4:20. People are,
Hang on a second, Ms. Malone.
pardon me.
Hang on a second. Ladies and gentlemen, I realize that this is a very sensitive area here for you. If you're not able to do this, it'd be very emotional. I urge you to step into the hallway. Okay?
Hey, Janet. People are publishing People's Exhibit 5. Your Honor, this video is glitchy. I just want to let the court know. I'm gonna start playing the video at 8 minutes. Actually, I'm gonna start at 7:57. I'm gonna play it for about 17 seconds. I'm gonna pause it, draw the court's attention to the top right, and then play the rest of the video. So starting at 7 minutes and 57 seconds. So I'm gonna stop at 8 minutes and 15 seconds. I'm gonna draw the court's attention. I'm circling it with my mouse, the top right corner, the second side street from the gas station. The vehicles that will be turning down that street. I'm gonna play this until the entirety and then it'll just cut off. No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examine.
Yes, Your Honor. You need to show some of those videos.
Good afternoon.
Do you recall on what date you obtained the footage that you were just shown during direct examination?
I do not.
Is it fair to say that it was not obtained on the same date of the alleged incident?
Yes.
About how many days later?
Oh, I did. It was the day of the homicide.
Okay, so the day of the shooting, you arrived at the scene and you obtained the footage that same day?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you obtain that footage?
As far as,
Did you obtain that footage from a gas station owner or from some other capacity?
so I received permission from the gas station owner, and I was able to connect into their system and extract the video from their DVR.
Okay, and so is it fair to say this is not green light footage?
Yes,
This is footage from the gas station itself?
correct.
And there have been no alterations, deletions, or anything to the videos that you saw on direct exam?
Correct.
You did the extraction, and so you were the one who picked which times of the video to extract, correct?
Well, following the OIC's direction.
And what OIC was that?
At the time, it was Officer Jordan.
So did Officer Jordan instruct you on what times of each video to extract?
He instructed me on the time of the incident, and I just grabbed that piece of video.
Okay, so he told you the time of the alleged shooting, and then it was your decision on what specific times thereafter to pick and choose the footage, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to show you again, People's Exhibit number 5. Please let me know if you can see the screen. Okay, I am just going to play the last 7 seconds of this video, and then I have some questions for you. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward to where this video ends. So this part of the video, I'm sorry, is it all right with the court if I stand here and question? It's a little bit
So
difficult.
long as we can hear you.
All right, I've not usually been accused of being too quiet, but I'll see. So officer, this portion of the video, it stops before the shooter continues to run from the scene, correct?
Correct.
And so your knowledge, based upon watching all of the videos, is that the shooter continues to run away from the scene towards the left, correct?
Correct.
And this video would have gotten him running away from the scene towards the left if it continued, correct?
Correct.
But you chose to only select this portion of the video, correct?
The system chose. So this is a motion-based system. So I can only give you what the system gives you. So if it does not record that motion, I can't give it to you.
Okay, so I'm a bit confused because I thought you testified just now that based upon Officer Jordan's direction of what time the shooting was, you then went in the system and chose what times of the videos to select.
2 statements. Motion, this is a motion camera. I can only give you the motion that the camera picks up. I can't give you something that the camera didn't pick up. So if the camera didn't pick it up, this is what you get.
Okay, so there was no motion detected in, from this particular view of the shooter running towards the left.
Correct.
I am going to show you another video. And that video that you just saw, you couldn't see the shooter's face in that video, correct?
Correct.
And in and you know, I'll ask you some questions, and if I need to show you these videos, I'll pull them back up, but in the exhibit 3, the first video that the people showed you, you couldn't see a timestamp in that video, correct?
Correct.
And you couldn't see it because the video is blurry, right?
I couldn't see it on this screen.
But you also couldn't see it when the prosecutor brought you her computer screen, correct?
Correct.
So wouldn't you agree that you couldn't see the timestamp because the video is a little bit blurry? It's hard to see, right?
On these screens, but I can see it in my office because I can make it larger.
Okay, so when you zoom in the video, you could.
Yes.
In People's Exhibit 3, you also could not see the shooter's face in that video, correct?
Correct.
Same thing with Exhibit 4, you could not see the shooter's face, correct? And in Exhibit 3, you couldn't see any distinguishing marks on that individual, could you?
Not in this footage, no.
And same thing with Exhibit 4, no distinguishing marks were visible in that video too, correct?
From this footage, no.
You said this footage, is there some other footage that you looked at or analyzed in this case?
So from the video that you're showing here, just the video, I cannot see a picture of it. There's no video. It's your own computer. You can make a video. You get a better image of it.
Did you do that in this case?
In the initial, we made clips of the subject.
So you personally made clips of the subject from which video?
From this location.
Okay, how many clips did you make?
Just a few.
Just a few.
Yeah.
And you made
Not
those.
clips, images. So just screen captures of the subject enlarged.
Okay, so you made a few screen clip images of the subject enlarged from different vantage points. Is that fair?
Yes,
And you turned those over to the prosecution?
to the OIC.
To the OIC. Which OIC was that?
Sure.
Do you know what those screen clips were used for?
I do not.
Did you apply any filters to those screen clips?
I did not.
How did you obtain the screen clips? And I'm sorry, I know that's a very basic question, but what process did you use to obtain those image grabs?
Just zooming in and taking clips of the screen, just captures.
And by doing so, were you able to get a clearer or better image?
Yes.
I'm going to show you Exhibit 4, People's Exhibit 4. Sorry, this Zoom updated and it's a little bit weird to use. Okay, so when you made those still shots, would you take a video kind of like this and pause it? Is that what you would do?
Yes.
Okay, and then would you essentially take a screenshot on your computer?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that. stop sharing. Okay, so take a screenshot, which is what I did there, and it would give you a still image like this, right?
So from your computer, yes, but
Okay.
my software can Zoom and, you know, just to get better
Okay.
images.
So, and then if I have this on here, I can zoom using just the photo image and zoom in like this, is that correct? I deeply apologize for the sensitive nature of this image. It's highly relevant, unfortunately, to this case. Okay. And so I could zoom in and see the shooter
Yeah.
a lot better by doing that, correct?
Yeah.
Would you agree that this image is a fair and accurate depiction of that video that we just took that screenshot from?
Yes.
And in fact, that's how you made your screenshots, right? Although your system is probably a little more high tech than mine, right?
Right.
Okay, and so Judge, at this time, I would move for the admission of this still shot that I just took.
So no, do you have any objections?
I just want to see the photo, you know, what you said.
Much better here. I'm happy to send an electronic copy to the court instead of a paper copy if there's an issue.
Both no objection, Your Honor.
Admitted?
So in this image, it depicts the shooter's right arm, correct?
Correct.
And he is shooting the decedent with his right arm, correct?
Correct.
And on that right arm, there are no, you don't see any visible tattoos, correct? Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, it looks different on my screen than it does up there. Put it where it needs to be. Do you see any tattoos on either of the shooter's arms?
Sorry to tell, there's something. I can't see real, but there's something.
Do you see something on his left wrist? Left wrist, the wrist that is not using the firearm. My question is just, do you see something there?
Yeah.
Okay, and there is also something on the right arm, correct?
Right.
But in the area of where the elbow meets, you don't see any tattoo, do you?
Which arm?
I'm sorry, in his right arm. So, and I'm gonna just point to this area here. Oh gosh, sorry, this is difficult. Right here, it is the area directly below his elbow. You do not see any sort of tattoo, correct?
No.
And just for the record, I'm circling the area directly below the elbow.
Inner forearm.
On the inner forearm of the right hand. Okay. Now with regards to the shooter's left hand, left arm, you don't see any markings over here, do you? Meaning on his hand or fingers? Oh, sorry.
Here, I guess I'm just gonna object to speculating. We can all see this photo. She's just asking what he believes is on there or not. He's already said he doesn't know.
The photo speaks for itself.
Understood, Judge. May I publish the photo to the court?
Sure. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
And Judge, this photo would be defense exhibit. Nothing further for this witness, Your Honor.
No readout, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. Next witness.
Your Honor, this time people call evidence technician Sharon Thompson.
How many more witnesses do we have?
Six.
6 more today?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please have a seat. Mr. Drain, are you on my other case? No.
Wait, when there's gonna take longer.
Thank you. You're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please restate your name again for the record?
Sharon Thompson.
And where you're currently employed at?
I am currently employed with the city of Detroit as a forensic technician
And for how long?
for 7 years.
Were you employed in this position on July 24th, 2022?
Yes,
Did you in fact work on that date?
yes,
Were you with a partner or by yourself?
I was by myself.
Did your duties take you at or near 20630 West 7 Mile in Detroit?
Yes,
Okay, what is that location?
that location is a Sunoco gas station.
Okay, what brought you to that location?
I received a run originally for a non-fatal shooting, and en route to that location, it was upgraded to a fatal.
Okay, you said fatal, meaning the individual had passed away.
Yes,
Okay, and when you made that scene, what, if anything, did you do?
I spoke with the officers that were securing the scene. I also took photos and I collected evidence at that location.
Okay, what kind of evidence did you collect?
I collected firearm evidence and I collected swabs from that location.
Okay, specifically, what do you recover? Shell casings?
Yes, I recovered 3 shell casings. I recovered fire bullets or fragments,
Okay,
and I also collected swabs.
when you say swabs, what did you swab?
There was a brick wall towards the rear of that location where it was stated that the alleged perpetrator exited from the scene, and they believe that he touched the bricks that were on that side, so I swabbed the area where they said that the person passed.
Okay, did your duties take you to a second location on that date?
Yes, it did.
What location was that?
That location would have been for a cyanide break hospital.
Why did you make that location?
I made that location because the decedent was conveyed there.
Okay, what if anything did you do when you made that location?
When I made that location, I took photos of a Devontae Bridges, I took photos of his injuries, and I took photos of a wallet that was on his person.
Did he have an ID in the wallet?
I believe so, I can't.
Okay, did he have a wrist bracelet on?
Yes,
What was the name on the bracelet?
Devontae Bridges.
Okay, nothing further, Your Honor.
Counsel Bennett.
Did you take any photos, elsewhere at this scene? Or I'm sorry, did you take any photos at the Sussex address?
No, my duties for that particular day, I took care of the original scene, which was just the gas station and at the hospital.
Did you take any photos of different camera angles that might exist at the gas station?
Yes, I did. So I took photos of the exterior and the positions that the cameras were from.
Do you recall how many cameras?
No, I don't.
Did you provide those photos to the officer in charge of the case?
Yes, so what ends up happening once we take photos, they're uploaded to a secure drive where you will sign in and have access to those photos.
Okay, and as far as you know, he had access to, the officer in charge had access to the photos of the different camera angles?
Correct.
And at that time, which officer in charge are we talking about?
So at that time, they worked in a team. So when I arrived, like I stated before, it started out as non-fatal. So that started with the members that were with 8th precinct. When I arrived to that scene, I spoke to Sergeant Wade, who is with the 8th precinct. When I got there, like I said, they worked in a team. So I remember talking to Detective White. And I'm not sure who all was there at that time, because sometimes, people leave or what have you, so the OIC can change. So I'm not sure who the OIC was specifically during that time, or if it changed, but I just know I was called that scene because the sergeant was originally in on homicide. Once it turned into a homicide, I spoke with Detective White.
Okay, and is Detective White who you provided the photos of the different camera angles to?
No, so what ends up happening, once I made it back to base and I upload those photos to that drive, that would be like, for example, just for explanation purposes, if you were the OIC, if you log in and you type in the case number, your credentials, then you would pull that report. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't physically hand them over.
Do you recall taking a photo of a camera at the back alley of the gas station?
I would have to look at it.
If I showed you a photo, would it refresh your recollection?
Sure.
Better may I approach the witness to provide her with a copy of the photo?
Yes, I recall.
Okay, so did you take a photo of a camera facing the back alley of the gas station?
I believe that I did, because after this wall, this corner, I don't know, from the picture, but right about there.
And so, just so the record is clear, you are pointing to the back wall of the gas station in the corner at the top, is that correct?
That's fair, that's fair.
Okay, and you took a photo of that camera because is it your understanding that's the direction the shooter ran after the shooting?
So no, so when I took the photos of the alley just to show where that wall was located, I don't recall having a conversation with anybody of saying like whether they ran up the alley, up the block, or anything like that. My purpose was to take photos of the entire scene in just to align. So in the event, God forbid, if I wasn't able to be here today, in this capacity, somebody can come back to these photos and basically see the connection on what the city was.
I could have just a moment. Nothing further for this witness, and might I approach to grab my photo?
Okay. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Stella.
Yeah, this time people call Brandon Jordan, who's gonna appear via Zoom.
All right. Mr. Jordan. Sir, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please tell us your name and spell it for us.
Brandon Jordan, BRANDON, Jordan, JORDAN.
Okay, when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Jordan. I'm gonna ask you questions. If you can't hear me, just let me know, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Can you please restate your name again for the record?
Brandon Jordan,
Did you become involved in the investigation of the homicide of Devontae Bridges?
I did.
And on July 24th of 2022, were you the officer in charge at that time of that investigation?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And during your investigation, did you extract video from various locations around the scene?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And Your Honor, may I share my screen?
Yes. use for the co-host.
Mr. Jordan, are you able to see the screen?
I can see it.
Okay. Does this video look familiar?
It does.
Okay, how does this video look familiar?
This looks like video footage that I downloaded while I was investigating this case.
Okay. Now this video is titled. Did you create that title up top?
No, I didn't.
Okay. How is that? How did it get that title? Can you explain that to us?
The title and the timestamp is automatically generated from the system that we use. It generates with the address of the location as well as the date and time.
Okay. So is that in military time?
Correct.
Okay. So right now I have the video at 3, well, actually, Your Honor, at this time, does this video fairly and accurately depict the video that you extracted for this investigation?
Yes, it does.
Okay, at this location of 20201 West 7 Mile?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, people would move to admit People's Exhibit 6.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Admitted?
And Your Honor, may I publish?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna go into about almost 3 minutes into this video. Now, this is time stamped at 13:35. What time is that in military time?
1:35 p.m.
Okay, and if I go 3 minutes into the video, would that be 1:38 then?
Correct.
Okay, and when you're obtaining this video, was this before the shooting or after the shooting?
This was before the shooting.
Okay, did you have to convert the time on this video or anything?
No, I didn't.
Okay, and what street are we looking at here?
West 7 Mile Road.
Okay, in comparison to the scene, where's the scene at from this location?
The scene is, I don't have an accurate distance, but it's west of this location.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm gonna play the video starting at 2:59. I'm gonna play it for 40 seconds. I would draw the court's attention to this top right corner by the trees. Playing the video now. Sorry, minute 40, I'm playing it. I'm gonna pause the video at 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Mr. Jordan, why would you go to this location to look at video, this location specifically?
Because it's it's common for victims of violent crime to be followed from one location to the place where the actual crime occurs. And due to the victim and the suspect not having any interaction in the brief amount of time that the victim was there, I believe that he was followed. So I began to look at all locations near the area to see if I could obtain any additional video footage of the suspect and if there was any additional suspects.
Okay. And publishing People's Exhibit, oh no, not yet. I'm gonna put another video up on the screen.
Okay.
Does this video look familiar?
It does.
Okay, how does this video look familiar?
This is additional footage from a different location that I pulled while investigating this case.
Okay, where is this located at? What streets are we looking at?
We are looking at the intersection of Fielding and West 7 Mile.
Okay, the gas station, where is that located at? If I'm driving down the street approaching this stop sign, which way do I turn to go to the gas station?
You'll turn right. You'll turn right. Yes. The stop sign is facing Fielding. You would make a right turn onto West 7 Mile.
Okay, and now I'm on 7 Mile. I see a gas station in the video. Is that the gas station of the scene?
No, it's not.
Okay, how far down do I have to go to reach the gas station of the scene?
Again, I don't have the accurate distance, but recalling from my memory, I believe that the gas station where the incident took place is just on the opposite side of this building. Right out of.
So it's.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, do we have an opportunity to review this video together?
Yes.
Okay, does it fairly and accurately depict the video that you extracted? And this would be at 20436 West 7 Mile in Detroit?
Yes, it does.
Okay, Your Honor, people have moved to amend People's Exhibit 7.
No objection. Admitted?
Your Honor, may I publish?
Yes.
Okay, the same thing, there's a title up here, and it's, did you make that title?
No, I didn't.
Okay, how was that title created?
Like I stated earlier, it's automatically generated from the system that we use to download the video footage.
Okay, so same thing, we've got a date, we've got a location, and then we've got army time. What time is that showing?
1736 would be 5:36 p.m.
Okay, did you have to convert this time?
I did.
Okay, how much time did you have to convert it from? What's the actual time?
The actual time is 1:36 p.m. This timestamp is 4 hours ahead.
Okay, is it pulling central time? Is that?
Correct.
Is that, okay, so when they pull central time, then you have to convert the time?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna take this video to 8:10. Okay, I'm gonna play the video from 8:10 for about 20 seconds. Stopping the video at 8:30. I'm gonna show you one last video.
Okay.
On the screen, does this video look familiar?
Yes, it does.
How does this video look familiar?
This is video from the same location as the previous video. It's just a different angle.
Okay, does this video fairly and accurately depict the video that you extracted in this case?
Yes, it does.
Your Honor, people move to amend People's Exhibit 8.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Admitted?
Your Honor, may I publish?
Yes.
Okay, we'll start the video at 8 minutes. I'll start it at 8:07. Play it for about 25 seconds. And I'll stop that video at 8:37. No further questions, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Officer Jordan, you testified on direct that Exhibit 6, that you believe that was footage before the shooting. Is that correct? And that was the footage of the Happy's Pizza sidewalk, or the sidewalk in front of Happy's Pizza?
Correct.
How do you know that?
Because taking the time that the shooting occurred, I went backwards, following not only the victim, but following the potential suspect.
Okay, but there are no timestamps on that video other than the file name, correct?
I'm sorry?
There are no timestamps on that video, Exhibit 6, correct?
There's no timestamps on the downloaded video that way, but when I observe the video on the computer before I download it, I can see what time it is.
Do you recall what time it was at?
Not directly, no, I don't.
And you didn't write any reports in this case, did you?
Police reports, no. I took notes.
And what did you do with your notes that you took?
I maintain my notes in a system, record management system that we have in the department that also is date and time stamped as well.
Okay. And so you preserved your notes, correct?
Correct.
How long were you the officer in charge of this case?
For 2 years, for over 2 years, almost 2 years, I'm sorry, up until March of this year.
Until March of 2024 then, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And when did you become the officer in charge of this case?
I became the officer in charge of the case July 25th, 2022.
And did your it's my understanding you're testifying over Zoom today, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I have to ask, did your no longer being the officer in charge of this case have anything to do with being taken into custody?
No.
When did you get taken into custody?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the relevance of that. She's already asked this anything to do with this case, and it's not.
I sustain objection.
And my response would have just been because of the timing of March 2024 being so close in time, I felt it was relevant, but I'll move on. Okay, back to exhibit number 7. That is the Fielding, I believe it was Fielding South footage. There were also no timestamps on that video, correct?
There's a timestamp for the title, or do you mean while you're viewing the video?
I mean, while you're viewing the video, there are nothing to indicate what time footage actually occurred at during.
Correct.
You testified that you converted the time and determined it was 4 hours ahead. How did you determine that?
Because when I view camera footage for all of the times, I can use the different locations that are around to be able to ascertain what time it actually is live. And that's when I convert it with whatever inaccurate time I see in the video.
Okay, so what locations nearby did you use to ascertain the time that was in the video?
I looked at several different locations. I don't have a list of every single location that I view footage from.
Is it fair to say that you determined the locations and which videos happened before and after based upon your own reasoning?
I wouldn't say my reasoning alone. We work in a team. I definitely wasn't by myself with decision making or opinions or thoughts or actions.
Going to share my screen and show you a portion of People's Exhibit number 7. This is the Fielding South video. Can you see that?
I can't.
Okay, it appears to be both a driver and a passenger in that truck, correct?
Correct.
What did you do to investigate those 2 individuals?
I'm not sure exactly what you mean.
I guess I would object to the relevance. We're here for the defendant for today as far as their whole investigation. What's the relevance for today's purposes?
Judge, I find the investigation and what DPD did or did not investigate to be highly relevant, especially when you have an individual who's charged with first-degree murder. Thank you. So my question to you is, it appears that there's a person in the passenger seat. You didn't investigate that person at all, did you?
At this moment, I'm not quite sure who that person is. I did attempt to identify who the person was, yes.
What did you do to attempt to identify that person?
I use multiple different avenues and databases, looking up similar vehicles as the vehicle that we see in this video footage, doing connections and link analysis from the victim to see if there was connection to people that had a vehicle like this, as well as any stolen vehicles like this in the area.
And what were your results? Did you find anything that matched this vehicle?
I can't say that I didn't. I can say that I wasn't able to confirm nor deny the identity of the people that is driving or in the passenger seat of that vehicle, no.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. It sounds to me like your testimony is that you ran this vehicle. You may have found other vehicles that match this vehicle, but that you did not investigate those vehicles. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, tell me what's not correct. What did you do to investigate the other vehicles that you just testified you found?
You said that I ran that vehicle. I didn't run that vehicle because I was never able to confirm which vehicle that was.
Okay, I'm going to show you another video here. Please let me know if you see, or once you hopefully see the video.
I see it.
All right, and this was, just so the record is clear, this was People's Exhibit number 8, the Fielding North video. That video depicts the truck, correct?
Correct.
And there's a license plate on that truck, correct?
Okay.
Is that accurate? Do you see a license plate on that truck?
I do. I can't see what the license plate is.
Okay. But you didn't take any steps to enhance that photo or try to get a clearer image of that license plate that's visible, did you?
Yes, I did.
What did you do?
I attempted, as well as multiple other colleagues of mine and different resources that I have within the department, attempted to de-blur, enhance, alter to be able to try to obtain the license plate, but there just simply wasn't enough information for us to be able to do so.
So are you saying you yourself took the steps to enhance this photo?
No, if you remember me saying, I said that myself, as well as additional colleagues and resources within and outside of the police department, all attempted at different times to try to enhance the video to be able to obtain the license plate. I personally wasn't able to do so.
What colleagues of yours attempted to enhance this image?
I don't have a list of everyone that I was working with at the time that tried to get this video to get a quality image of the license plate.
But it's true though, if you were able to get even a partial license plate, you could have ran that through an LPR and determined who that vehicle came back to, right?
Correct.
And then you could have investigated that individual and done some interviews, right?
Yes.
But that was not done, correct?
Not by me, no.
It's my understanding that you regularly received quite a few phone calls from the complainant's family seeking for updates in this case. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you meet with any family members in this case?
Your Honor, I'm object to the relevance of meeting the deceased family members.
Well, Judge, if he had met with deceased family members, there may be things relevant to this case, and considering this officer did not write any report, this is the only means of which I have to ascertain that information.
Well, it's hearsay, whatever she's trying to get from the family, and I don't see the relevance at all.
I'm not seeking the statements that the family made. I am seeking whether those interviews were conducted. One, it goes to the course of the investigation and how it occurred, and then two, potentially discoverable information if such videos exist, which I don't know if they do, but I need to ask those questions to determine.
So I guess it's, when we say interviews, she's asking if she's reached out to the family who lost a loved one to give them updates about their case. These aren't interrogations. So this isn't something you would record, ask a bunch of questions, then turn over to defense counsel. This is him informing a family of where we're at in the investigation. If she wanted to ask if he obtained any videos from the family or anything, okay, I guess I can understand that.
And, you know, I'll move on, and I think it'll make more sense further down in my questioning. So this incident occurred on July 24th, 2022, but it was not until September 7th of 2022 that you requested an additional extraction of the video from the Sunoco gas station. Is that correct?
I don't recall the exact day that I requested additional video from the Sunoco gas station. I'm not sure.
It was several months later though, correct?
I just said I'm not sure.
Did you yourself pull these videos that you were shown on direct from the Sunoco gas station?
I wasn't shown any video from the Sunoco gas station.
Exhibits 6, 7, and 8. Did you yourself extract or pull those videos?
I did.
And in doing so, did you pick the times and dates that you were going to extract?
Yes.
You did not request or try to obtain any footage from the day previous to the shooting, July 23rd, 2022, correct?
Yes. Yes, I did.
You did.
I did.
Where did you try to obtain footage from?
I viewed footage from the day previous because there was possible information. So I did view footage, but it didn't result in anything. Therefore, it wasn't downloaded or provided.
Where did you view footage from?
Some of the locations that we looked at, multiple green light partners in that area, like I did for the video footage that we have. I did that for the day before, as well as earlier in the day at a time that also wasn't provided. There just wasn't any valuable footage recovered, so it wasn't preserved.
When did you view the footage from the day before the incident?
I don't remember exactly which day, but while I was investigating, I watched so many hours of video for this case. I don't have everything.
Okay, but you watched several different other businesses footage from July 3rd, the day before, 2022, July 3rd, 2022, you watched several videos from other businesses, yet you never preserved those or found those to be important in this first-degree murder case, correct?
Asked and answered. He's already answered this, Your Honor.
That's answer the question. It's the same.
The reason you looked at footage from July 23rd, 2022 was because you believed that the complainant may have been followed, is that correct?
Correct.
And did you believe at that time that someone may have been quote unquote casing the area to determine how to conduct this shooting?
It's not uncommon for perpetrators of violent crime to do that.
You obtained footage in front of the Happy's Pizza, but you never went in and interviewed any of the employees from Happy's Pizza, correct?
Incorrect.
Which employees did you interview from Happy's Pizza?
I wouldn't say interviewed, we canvassed. I didn't have any written statements from anyone because, once again, if the information provided would have been deemed valuable at that time, it would have been preserved. But we did a canvass of the neighboring businesses to obtain any possible information that they might have relevant to the case.
But at the time you did that, you didn't have any leads on who the shooter was, did you?
No.
So you determined it wasn't relevant based on having no leads and no suspects in the case, correct?
I determined it wasn't relevant because the people that we spoke to didn't have any knowledge of the incident or any of the parties involved.
But the shooter walked directly in front of that Happy's Pizza, correct?
Correct.
And anyone who was in that Happy's Pizza likely saw him, correct?
I'm not sure. I wasn't inside.
And you didn't try to get any footage of the inside either, did you?
Incorrect. I did try to get footage. It wasn't available.
Who did you talk to try to get footage?
I don't have the person's name right here with me.
And again, you didn't write a report, so it's not in any sort of documentation, correct?
All steps of the investigation are documented with a police report.
Can you do that again? All steps of the investigation are
not documented with a police report.
But wouldn't you agree it would be proper police procedure in a serious homicide, first-degree murder case that if you're canvassing and if you're questioning witnesses, wouldn't you agree that's something that would be important to put in a report?
I didn't say that I was talking to witnesses. I explained that the people that I spoke to said that they didn't have any information or any knowledge of the incident that occurred or the parties involved. Therefore, I didn't deem them to be witnesses. Therefore, a witness statement was not obtained.
Okay, so did you show those potential witnesses a picture of the shooter?
I don't recall if I did or if I didn't.
I'm just trying to understand how you knew that they didn't know any of the parties involved. If you didn't have a suspect and you didn't show them a picture of the shooter, how did you determine they had no knowledge?
I didn't say that I didn't show them a picture. What I said was that because there were multiple people who were shown pictures and there were some people who weren't shown pictures. When doing a canvass, I asked probing information to determine the knowledge that people have about the circumstances that occurred. I can't guarantee that the information they have is valuable or invaluable until I determine throughout my investigation if it is or not.
Okay. You authored several search warrants in this case, correct?
Correct.
including one that resulted in a Google geofence, correct?
Correct.
And you got the result of that Google geofence, and it resulted in 5 different devices being at the scene at the time of the shooting, correct?
Somewhat, possibly, yes.
Well, if I showed you a copy of your search warrant in which you were the affiant and you swore under oath that you received a result of geofence with 5 different devices in it at the shooting at that same time, would that refresh your recollection?
Didn't say that it was at the shooting at that same time. It's just in that area that I requested for the geofence.
Okay, well,
not directly at the shooting.
All right, let's talk more about the geofence. Can you explain what Google geofence is?
Geofencing is, with Google specifically, is used to determine the precise location of different devices that are registered through Google at a time on a date requested.
Okay, and so you requested one and you selected a particular fence, which was an area that included the gas station where the shooting occurred, correct?
Correct.
And you obtained results that showed 5 different devices were located within that fence, which encompassed the gas station at the date and time of the shooting, correct?
Yes.
You never followed up to determine who owned those devices, did you?
Incorrect.
What did you do to follow up on those 5 devices that were located in the geofence?
I attempted to make contact at residences of different people that were registered to those devices with unsuccessful contact made. I attempted to reach those individuals on the phone with unsuccessful contact made.
So you were able to determine who those people were, right?
No, I was able to determine names. I was able to determine names that were associated with those devices. That doesn't mean that those were the people that were in that area.
Okay, sir. So those names that you found that were associated with these devices, who are they?
I'm not sure exactly what you're asking me when you say who are they. Do you mean what are their names?
I'm asking you what the names of those 5, the individual who those 5 devices trace back to. You said you went to their residences, you contacted them. Who are they?
Right. I have them they're in the file, they're in the notes. I don't have them with me right now. Because once again, they didn't recover any value at the time.
Any value at the time, but when you got that, you still didn't have a suspect, did you?
No.
So you didn't really know if it was value or not at the time because you didn't have a suspect.
Exactly. That's why I said at the time.
And again, that's nowhere in any report are those 5 individuals' names, their residences, or any information about how you ascertained who those people were. That's in no report in this case, is it?
No. No police report, no.
But important information should go in police reports, especially in first-degree murder cases, right?
I'm gonna object to this argument. You can make that in closing.
I'm sorry, I'll move on. Did you have any involvement with obtaining Mr. Craig's cell phone?
No.
Did you obtain statements from any of those individuals with those 5 devices in the geofence? Did you obtain statements from any of those individuals about where they were at and what they were doing, the date and time of the shooting?
Objection, Your Honor, has been asked and answered. He hasn't had any communication with those 5 individuals. He stated he attempted to make contact by their home address or their phone. He was not able to make contact.
You can answer the question. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge.
No.
You, in the course of your investigation, you met with an individual named Chanel, who was the complainant's fiance, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you received information, about 2 days after this shooting that an individual named Sean Clark was.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object. This is hearsay, and she's actually, this is a question.
Okay, I'll rephrase. Did you investigate an individual named Sean Clark in the course of your investigation?
Yes.
Okay, and you investigated that person, Sean Clark, because he was the last person.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object again. This is hearsay. Where is she getting this from?
I can ask him why he investigated that person. I'll do that. Why did you investigate Sean Clark?
Because his name came up as a part of the investigation as someone that was one of the last people to have contact with the victim.
Did you get any information about him being the only person that knew
Your
that?
Honor, I'm gonna object. This is hearsay again.
Sustained.
Did you issue any search warrant for Sean Clark's cell phone?
No.
Did you interview Sean Clark?
I spoke with Sean Clark on 2 occasions.
Did you record those interviews?
Once was over the phone, and no, that was not recorded.
When was the other time?
And the other time I spoke to him was at police headquarters, and that interview should have been recorded, yes.
And as far as you know, that interview was preserved and turned over to the prosecution in this case, correct?
No, incorrect.
So you interviewed him, you recorded the interview, and the interview wasn't preserved?
The interview rooms are always recorded. Every time somebody goes into the interview room, I don't preserve every conversation that happens in the interview room. No.
Okay, so, and I just wanna make sure I'm clear. You did interview the person who was one of the, I think you said was one of the last people that spoke to the complainant. You interviewed him twice, but you didn't record either statement. Is that correct?
No, I just said that the interview rooms are always recorded. I just said that it wasn't preserved and provided to the prosecutor's office.
For what reason was it not?
Same as the reasons that I gave you earlier for the other things that you asked about. It didn't provide any useful information at the time.
And at the time you interviewed him, you didn't have a suspect, did you?
No.
So you determined at that time that it wasn't useful despite you not having any suspect?
None of the
Correct.
information that I spoke to him about led me to believe that he participated in any of the circumstances involved.
Did you determine if his cell phone or device was found in that geofence return you received?
No.
Did you determine if he had any sort of Dodge Ram vehicle that was registered to him?
I attempted to. I didn't determine that he had a vehicle that matched that description, though.
I'm sorry, so that I'm clear, did he have a vehicle that matched that description, or you didn't determine?
No.
Whether
No, he didn't.
he did.
Was Sean Clark an initial suspect in this case?
No.
Was Sean Clark ever a suspect in this case?
No.
Were you able to determine if Sean Clark was at the mosque on the day of the shooting?
He told me he was.
So you determined that this individual was with the complainant at the mosque on the day of the shooting, correct?
Correct.
Did he tell you where he went after the mosque? I'll withdraw my question. Did you get any other information in your investigation about what occurred at the mosque when the complainant and Sean Clark were there?
Yeah. There was multiple people at the mosque when the complainant and Sean Clark were there.
Who was there?
I don't have a list of all of the people that were there. There was multiple people there, but I do know that there was business engagements and everything at that time was cordial between not only the victim and Sean Clark, but between the victim and everybody else.
But you got some information that Sean Clark might not have been trustworthy, right?
I'm gonna object to hearsay.
Judge, it's not a specific statement that I'm trying to see.
You got information.
Did he?
Sustained.
Did you get any, were you able to determine if Sean Clark was with the complainant after the complainant left the mosque?
Was I able to determine if he was? Yes.
Just to clarify, were you able to determine whether Sean Clark left the mosque with the complainant minutes before his shooting?
Yes, because I have video footage of the complainant after leaving the mosque by himself.
Were you able to determine where Sean Clark went to or where he was at the time of the shooting?
From my memory, Sean Clark was still at the mosque at the time of the shooting.
Okay, let's talk about the mosque. You didn't obtain any video footage from the mosque, correct?
No,
You didn't interview the mosque minister either,
I did.
right?
I
You did interview the mosque minister.
I spoke to him with Sean Clark.
Okay, and that interview wasn't recorded, right?
It was recorded.
It was recorded by what means?
Video. Interview room at Detroit Public Safety Headquarters.
Judge, I just would like to make a record that this witness has testified to several videos of, in my opinion, seemingly very important videos of interviews of people that he conducted. I do not have any of those videos. I do not know if the people have those or have the ability to get those, but they seem to be highly relevant in this case.
My understanding is that the officer interviewed in the course of his investigation a number of people, and those things that he deemed relevant was turned over to the prosecutor's office. Those things that he didn't deem relevant were not.
Your Honor, if I may, just for clarification, at police headquarters, there's the box, and it's always being recorded. You can always turn it on, it's always being recorded, but unless you save that video, then it's not going to be. So when the officer in charge is saying, or at the time, is saying that yes, it was recorded, it's always recorded. It's not like he started this
When you
recording.
open the door and walk.
Right, so it's not like he hit record and then erased it afterwards, it's continuously going. I go through an investigation he probably spoke to, I could not only imagine in a homicide case, how many people he spoke to. They're not all on recording, they're not all in police reports. We get what she's getting at, but at the end of the day, this is standard, that they're not gonna record every single conversation they have with individuals, and that's argument, she can make that in her argument.
Well, I understand the argument you are currently making. The point of which I am making, Judge, is I want to clarify and be sure today that the people don't have any of those recordings in their possession. Because if they do, then I want to request them, review them, and then potentially recall this witness after having them. So I just would like the record to be clear whether the people have those videos in their possession.
Everything in my possession, Your Honor, has been turned over to the defense counsel. I have not come upon those videos, it's my understanding that I do not have those videos. Everything in my possession has been turned over to the defense counsel.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. Okay, what was the name of the mosque minister that you interviewed?
I don't recall.
What day did you interview him, the day of the shooting, or was it sometime thereafter?
Sometime thereafter.
Did you gather information from him that the complainant was there to meet with him that day?
The complainant wasn't there to meet with him specifically, no.
What's your understanding of why the complainant was at the mosque that day?
The complainant was my understanding is that the complainant was at the mosque that day having a business engagement about some equipment for his business that he was getting some assistance from members of the mosque with.
and I apologize if I ask this, I just want to make very sure. Do you recall any of the other individuals who were at the mosque with the complainant on the day of the shooting?
No, I don't.
But you do know Sean Clark was one of them, right?
Correct.
And there were others, you just don't recall their names, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you, in the course of your investigation, did you interview a Kevin Foreman Jr.?
Yes.
And did you determine that he was the last person who spoke to the complainant?
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to hearsay.
I don't know that it's hearsay, Judge. This officer could have looked at his phone records and determined that. It's in the course of his investigation.
Then it can be rephrased a different way, but she's basically saying the hearsay statement and saying, did that happen? Disguising it as a question, it's hearsay.
Sure, Judge. Did you obtain phone records belonging to the complainant in the course of your investigation?
I did.
Were you able to determine who the last person was that he spoke to prior to the shooting?
Via phone call or text message or
Via
which way are
phone
you?
call.
Yes. I don't recall who
Was
that
that-
person was. I don't recall who the person was.
Do you recall who the last person, the complainant was who he spoke with via text message?
No, I don't.
How many times did you interview Kevin Foreman Jr.?
I spoke to Kevin more than 2 times.
What was it, more than 2 times?
Yes.
Where did you speak with him at?
Public safety headquarters and on the phone.
Why did you speak with him?
Because it was my understanding that the victim was at Kevin's home before he was at the mosque that day.
Is it your understanding that the complainant was at Kevin's home and then went directly to the mosque?
Yes.
Were you provided with some Ring doorbell footage?
Yes, I
Of
was.
Kevin's. And just so I'm clear, that footage was of Kevin Foreman's home, correct?
Correct.
And was that footage of the day of the shooting prior to the complainant going to the mosque?
Correct.
Is it fair to say that the complainant looked uneasy in that footage?
It depends on whose definition of uneasy you're looking for.
Did he look
That's
over?
why that violates the best evidence rule, because the best evidence would be the video itself, not this officer's interpretation.
And Judge, I wish I had the video, but unfortunately, the video has not been provided or preserved as far as I know, which is my next line of questioning.
But we can't have his interpretation as to what. video
That's fine,
shows.
Judge.
Well,
That's all I was.
That was turned over to defense counsel.
Are we
Right.
doorbell camera?
Yeah, it was on his drive. I do not have to read it. It was on his drive, it's on OIC's drive. She came to the office, I took everything on his drive and put it on a drive for her.
The only thing on my drive is cell phones. I do not have any doorbell cameras.
Okay, then I will look into that, because it should all be on that drive. Everything on the OIC's drive, I pulled it over and put it onto there.
Next question.
Thank you, Judge. Did you go to, it's my understanding the complainant was in the process of opening up a store in Redford, right?
Your Honor, I'm gonna object again.
Process relevant.
I'm asking if he got, my next question is, did he obtain footage from the store that day to determine if anyone was near that store?
Go ahead.
Officer Jordan, did you obtain any footage outside of the complainant's store in Redford on the day of the shooting?
No, I didn't.
Did you go to that location at all during the course of your investigation?
I didn't go inside of the location. No.
Are there cameras near that location?
Yes.
I'm gonna go back to the Dodge Ram truck for a minute. Are you familiar with flock?
I am.
You didn't make any attempt to see if there were any flock photos of the Dodge Ram, correct?
Incorrect. I definitely did.
When did you do that?
Multiple times during the investigation.
How did you do that?
I have a login to Flock Safety, and periodically I'll log in and I will check different criteria to see if I can find a vehicle that matches that description.
Did you look, and just so the record's clear, can you explain what flock is?
Flock is a little bit stronger of a license plate reader for vehicles, cameras.
And is it true that you could pull flock cameras from various locations within the city of Detroit?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you follow the path that the truck took to see if there were any flock cameras or footage available on the day of the shooting?
Yes.
And you didn't find any?
I don't know if I did or if I didn't, because I wasn't able to confirm the license plate on the suspect vehicle.
So are you saying that you couldn't have searched flock by just the make, model, and color of the vehicle?
Of course I could. I did.
Okay, so you searched flock for other photos of this vehicle that you determined was involved in this case by make, model, and color. Did you find any photos or any other footage through flock of that vehicle?
I'm not sure if I did or if I didn't, because I found several photos of vehicles that may have possibly matched that description, but I wasn't able to ascertain if that was the vehicle in the video or not.
Did you preserve those photos?
No. Every single photo? No, absolutely not.
Did you preserve any of the photos from flock of vehicles matching the description of the vehicle involved in this shooting?
Some, yes.
Okay. Did you turn those over to the prosecutor's office in the course of your investigation?
No. I actually didn't turn over anything to the prosecutor's office in the course of my investigation.
I could have just a moment, Judge. One last question. Concerning the Dodge Ram, were you able to determine what year that vehicle was?
I don't recall.
Did you make any attempts to determine what year that vehicle was?
Of course.
What attempts did you make to determine what year that vehicle was?
There's several different avenues of determining the year, make, and model of a vehicle.
Right, which of those did you take in this case?
I don't know which specific or how.
Oh, Officer Jordan, can you
Yes.
hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, could you answer the question? Do you need me to repeat it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have missed it. It did
You
freeze
froze.
for a little
I'm
bit.
sorry. You froze.
Okay, I'm here now. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, could you just repeat your answer before you froze?
Oh, I'm sorry. I froze while I was speaking. I said that I can't recall the different databases that I used at that time to determine the year of the vehicle. I just don't recall what the year of the vehicle was.
Nothing further, Jim.
Did you have any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much, Officer Jordan.
Thank you.
You're all set, sir. Yes. Let's see up my waiver.
Yes, sir.
Instead of like a newer. Okay. Ms. Moore, you ready?
Yes, Judge, and if I
We'll
could
share
just,
the joke about you in just a moment.
about me?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, wait, would the court mind if I had my intern handle the waiver?
Sure, that's fine.
Thank you.
Calling case 2360595, people of the state of Michigan versus Danny Lamont Jackson. Defendant is charged in count 1, criminal sexual conduct, first degree personal injury. Count 2, criminal sexual conduct, third degree, person 13 through 15. Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Hadra Akram on behalf of the people.
Can you spell your name for us, please?
Yes, Hajra, and the last name is Akram, Akram. I'm seeking permission to practice pursuant to MCR 8.120 under the supervision of the AP Elizabeth Moore, PA 4724.
Permission granted.
Madam Mayor, please court Tyrone Baker, P number 62647. Hearing on behalf of Mr. Danny Jackson, is present to my left, Your Honor. Well, good afternoon.
Tell us your name for the record, sir.
Danny Jackson, second.
There's the date, time set for preliminary examination. Mr. Baker.
Your Honor, I've advised Mr. Jackson his right to preliminary exam this matter. People's burden to establish probable cause and how they would attempt to do so in this case. Given our discussion, Mr. Jackson would like to waive his right to preliminary exam.
Sir, please raise your right hand. Your other right. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You understand you have a statutory right to have a preliminary examination. By waiving the same, that means you won't have one, and you'll be bound over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court as we stand charged with complaint form. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand the nature and the purpose of a preliminary examination?
Yes, sir.
You understand if you were to have one, the prosecution would have to establish that the crime you're charged with was committed in the city of Detroit, that there's probable cause to begin committed.
Yes, sir.
Is anyone forcing you to waive your right?
No, sir.
Is anyone promised you anything?
No, sir.
Are you waiving your right freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Any objection from the people?
No, sir.
No objection.
The court finds defendant's waivers made knowingly and voluntarily freely given. The court will therefore bind the defendant over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court Criminal Division for proceedings. His arraignment on the information date and time will be August 7th, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. Thank you so much for your patience, Mr. Victor.
Appreciate it, sir. Wait.
Oh, Mr. Victor, let me get you and your client to sign the waiver form. Okay?
Yes.
And Your Honor, I would like to state the victim is here and present and she's ready.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Ms. Moore, let me share my plenty with you.
Should I approach it?
Yes, please. All right, thank you, guys.
Your Honor, can we approach?
No, that. Yes. Should I?
Okay, we are back on the record on People versus Calvin Cortez Craig, case number 2457743.
Your Honor, at this time, I was gonna call my next witness. It's my understanding that she has some health issues. She is still here. I asked her to stay until I let the court know. As the court's aware, I'm gonna ask for a retainer on another witness, so I would ask. Detainer. So I'm gonna ask for a health department to stop here, and then we'll continue another day, Your Honor.
All right, after the sidebar discussion that we had, court does find good cause to hold this part. So the next task would be to decide when we're going to come back here. How many more witnesses will we have?
Your Honor, I'll have 3. The option charge is gonna be out of the state from Vegas from 2029 to August. So he'll be leaving on July 29th. Oh, I'm sorry. So July 31st. till August sixth.
You'll be available August sixth or returning back August sixth?
Yeah, you're right, I'll be back in the office August sixth.
Okay, because August sixth was actually the date that I was looking at, because I slammed on August first. Well, as July 30th. So my next available date is August sixth. You do 11:30 or 1:30.
Judge, I have an exam that morning. I have another hearing in the afternoon. I can try to move.
Which
But
works best for
candidate-
you, 11:30 or 1:30?
I have a hearing, I have an exam at 9 AM and a pretrial at 1:30 in a
Where's your
different
exam?
county. My exam's in Washington County. And I candidly don't know how long. I can try to move my afternoon hearing, but I would need to try to do that before I commit.
Is August 8th work better for you?
August 8th works great for me, yeah.
Works for people who
Okay,
are.
let's do August 8th at 10 o'clock.
Judge, could we
I'm
do?
sorry, 11:30 or 1:30.
1:30.
All right,
Thank
August 8th at 1:30. And bound to be continued. Thank you.
Oh, and Your Honor, can I just submit a retainer, to the board?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna give you your exhibits back as well.
Thank you.
Well, folks, that concludes the topic for today. Hope I'll see you tomorrow, same bad station, same bad time. Have a good day.
Okay, so thank you for all who sat through this long, drooling trial. You saw the testimony, you saw the video. This was a long trial, people. And I could tell you this. There are some very, very violent people in this world. I mean, of course, when you're born into the world, you don't understand the magnitude of how parents or parentalship shelter you. It's not until you honestly pull the veil from over your eyes that you can see that we are living in a dangerous place where people will hurt you. They will hurt you. They'll hurt your loved ones. They'll disrespect you. They'll disrespect your loved ones. That's the world we live in. But nevertheless, put it in the comments. How did you feel about this case? I thought that it was disheartening, some of the testimony. And like I always say in every video, the defense attorneys or the defendant's attorneys, let me just say that again, they have a tough task. And a lot of times they are not even being paid. A lot of these attorneys are public defenders. They're public defenders. And in this case, it's very disheartening because of the allegations and charges that's being tossed around. They don't have to, you don't have to hurt people. You don't have to take people from this world. You did not make the people that you're trying to harm. So you shouldn't have to play God with these people's lives. But nevertheless, this is Antonio with Team Tiggio. Please, please, please like this video. Subscribe to the channel as we are on the road to 10,000. You can support this channel through Cash App and Super Chat. And once again, thank you for all my new subscribers, people that just stopped coming around my video. I'm rocking and rolling on LawTube. So once again, we'll see you in the next video.